Okay, everyone. Good evening. Thank you for joining. Baruch Hashem. I'd like to welcome all the new members here. We are going to learn today something very, very special. This week is Parshas Kisisa. There's actually in the Sichos from the Aleph and the Beis, there is a Kisisa talk. It's the last Mugadiga Sikha that we have, Parshas Kisisa, but it would take us at least 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks to go through it, and that would. I'd like to give you something ahead of time. So what I would like to do tonight is do the special Sikha that we have. It's special because it's, of course, the last Sikha that we were Zeicha to hear, Parshas Vayakel. The year Nun Beis was the exact same Kfiyas like this year. Everything exactly the same. I mentioned it last week. Then as well, Vayakel, Pekudei were two separate Parshiyos. So the Shabbos Parshas Vayakel was the last Sikha we were Zeicha to hear. Due to the fact that, of course, till now, due to the fact that Chav Zayin Adar happened already on Monday, the Sikha never got, and the Rebbe stroke, the Sikha was never edited. So we only have an unedited version. And even the unedited version that we have, there is a longer version. I'm going to read to you the short, I guess it came out as a Rad, meaning Rashi Dvarim of what the Rebbe said, a Kitzer. So we're going to do that Kitzer, and it's special because I don't have to say why it's special. It's super special. We talk about marching orders, and we might say a last word. By Yitzhak, we can't say that he didn't know. Especially by a Navi. So when he spoke to us, just like we saw in Parshas Tetzaveh, the last mimer that Rebbe gave us was Parshas Tetzaveh mimer, Ata Tetzaveh, and it's so clear that that mimer is the bond, the koiches that the Nasi Hadar gives to the generation, Dafkin in Yonim of Amunah, and Dafkin regarding belief in Mashiach. Obviously, because it was a introduction, or just a provisions that he supplied us for this dark moment that we've been in the last 25 or 27 years. So we can imagine that in Parshas Vayakel there's very, very important instructions. And even though it might seem like simple instructions, but simple is usually reflective of the essence. So let's learn this Sikha. And take it to heart. Take it deeply to heart. We can all elevate ourselves and increase and deeply try to integrate this in a very personal way. And to reflect, the main thing is to reflect and how this should and could and therefore should change our lives onward from today and on immediately, as soon as we learn it. Okay, so here we are. This was said on Parshas Vayakel, Chav Hei Adar, Parshas Vayakel, Chav Hei Adar Aleph. Here we go. So it starts as follows: B'kviyas kama v'kama shonim. In the kviyas, in the setting of various different years, Parshas Vayakel Pekudei hem mechubarim. In many, many years, Parshas Vayakel Pekudei are mechubaris, they're attached to each other. Ubekviyas shana zu sheParshas Vayakel Pekudei and Parshas Nefradios. But this year it comes out, and remember, it applies to that year and to this year. That's why this year is such a mesugaldig year for learning this and to finally accomplish and to complete that which the Rebbe so wanted us to get done then. that in this year he says they're nefrodes. Vayakel stands on its own and Pekude stands on its own. Now the Rebbe is going to teach us that there is a lesson from this, that Vayakel and Pekude are in two separate parshiyos. In a sense, it's making something easier for us. It's giving us a special nesinas koyach to get the job done with lesser avoda. It's usually not the Rebbe's style to give us less work, but the Rebbe does seem to utilize. If we have a special nesinas koyach to get more done with less work, then that's gewaldig. So it gives us a greater chance to accomplish it. In any case, so what is it that we have the opportunity to do this year? What does it mean in avodas adam? Klolus avodas adam k'maimer chachamenu zal. The general avoda of a person is like Chazal say, ani nevreisi l'shamash es koini. What's special, very powerful, is that the Rebbe sees in every parsha and in every inyan not just a particular hayra, but he sees usually in it how in each prat, in every detail, expresses the general connection of a Jew to Hashem. This is related to the idea that a Rebbe is the inner point. Chassidus in general, we learned it in Yonesh Teres Chassidus, that Chassidus is the 5 levels of Torah. Pshat, Rem is Drush and Zayd, and Chassidus is essence. It's Yechida, which is essence. Since Chassidus is essence, and a Rebbe was Neshama Klalas, especially Moshiach Tzidkenu, he's the Yechida of all the Jewish people, and being the Yechida, he sees in every prat of Yiddishkeit reflects the essence. So when we come to Parshas Vayakel, he sees not just one particular mitzvah, but the general scope of a Jew's service is expressed in Vayakel, Pekude together, and then in Vayakel on its own. So what is that? What are we all about? We're all here to serve our Creator. Not only are we here to serve our Creator ourselves, but as the human being the prime being in this world, the highest, the greatest, the director of all other creatures and all of creation. So therefore, so a Yid has an obligation to affect the world as well. As we know that in Chassidus we have this concept that we're taught in Tanya, that every Yid, not only is he here to himself to serve Hashem, but he's also got chelkoi ba'olam. He's got his chelik in the world. So therefore, just like we have to serve our Creator, every single one of us has a chelik in this world in which we have to reveal that chelik of the world is here to serve its Creator. Because the world of itself is in a state of klipa, in a state of obscuring. It blocks. It claims to be autonomous, unrelated to anything godly. So lifral gam b'chol inyanei olam, that we have to affect all the inyanim of the world, l'shamash es kainam, to serve their Creator. Ach bezeh gufa yeshnam beizoi fanim. So that's our job. Our job is to be megala achdus Hashem in the world, by being megala how every single thing in this world is created solely for the purpose of serving Hashem. Now, in this itself, there are 2 levels or 2 stages. Yeshnam beizoi fanim. There are 2 manners. And this is hinted to in the names of the parshiyos, Vayakel Pekude. Aleph, Vayakel, what's Vayakel? Shemegale b'chol inyanei olam es avoda haklala shalamaylam apratim. What's Vayakel? Vayakel is megale in the whole world. Vayakel means to gather. So if you gather, what's the gathering point? How do we unify? How do we connect things that are so diverse, things that are so separated, things that are so, there's such variation, the world is so multiplistic. So how do we connect things that seem not to have any relationship one to each other? So what's the nakuda that connects everything? Everything is created. Keil echad b'ra'anu, one God created us. And for what purpose? One common theme to all of creation. It's all to serve the Creator. So how do we do a vayakel? And the simple meaning of the pasuk is vayakel Moshe's kaladas b'nei Yisroel. There too, assembling Jews. Every Jew's got a whole different opinion and a whole different agenda. Everybody, but there's one agenda that we're all equal. and that is to build the Mishkan. So Vayakel is gathering the Jews to build the Mishkan, and also gathering all the resources for one purpose, to build the Mishkan. So the theme of Vayakel is the drawing of all of the fragmented or separated entities in creation, all into one unified state, focusing on serving the Creator. So that's Vayakel Shemegala B'chonin Yana Olam Es Avoda Aklala Shalamaylam Apratim. You're Megala, the general Avoda, and you're not getting into specifics yet. You're not, because Vayakel means gathering everybody together as a group. And you're not yet assigning individual assignments to the people in the group. You're giving everybody one general inspiration. L'shamesh es koinam, to serve their Creator. And that itself brings harmony, unity in the whole world. And this is true about the whole world. And Vayakel, however, is talking about Vayakel Moshe's called Das B'nai Yisrael, to gather the Jewish people, which are the shirish of the world, the root of the world. So when we gather B'nai Yisrael, they inyan the Avos v'Achdas Yisrael. So Vayakel emphasizes loving Jews and unifying with Yidden. That's number one. That's Vayakel. What's Pekudei? Pekudei is stage 2. The Eibishter didn't just create all creations with a desire that everything should serve him. Hashem assigned a specific purpose to each creature, in which every specific being, person, object, phenomenon, idea, every single thing makes its unique, individual, one-of-a-kind contribution to the Eibishter's plan and the Eibishter's Malchus, or whatever it is. Every single thing adds its unique note. That's Pekudei. Pekudei is counting each one individually and looking at the details. After we're done, the general avodah that unifies all the details, one takes it a step further. You start revealing b'chol prat u prat, every single one, es achidush hameyuchid binyanei haprati l'shamash eskainei. What is this individual talent? What does this particular person have that no one else has? You're running a Chabad house. You want to get a community. That's your work first at the beginning. You want to advertise. You want to get people. You want to get together that you're not alone. You have a whole group of people that are coming. You have an event. You want to fill the chairs. And by doing that, you're already bringing all these people and focusing that they're Jews. They're focusing, they're Jews, and they're connected to Torah, fine. But as you develop your shul a little better, your community a little better, you want to be able to have a place where people feel that they're contributing individually, so the people are all engaged, and each one is doing things that you need them all, and every single person has something to contribute to this community, and why that you're utilizing their particular strengths. Sometimes it's challenging. Sometimes we feel as shluchim that we need to do it all ourselves, and we're lacking in this. But that's Pekudei. Pekudei is to be, and again, is to be aware and to be sensitive to the differences that there are between people and to the uniqueness of each individual, and to try to draw that out. And that's our job in Pekudei. But what's the chiddush of this year? And usually these two come consecutive. First, you got a group. You got to bring the group, and then you can analyze and assign the specifics. This year that we're reading Parshas Vayakel B'Shvuah B'fnei Atzmai, that Vayakel is going to be read on its own. Parshas Pekudei B'Shvuah B'fnei Atzmai. Parshas Pekudei is read on its own. So this emphasizes sheyeshna shleimus ba'avodah de Vayakel B'fnei Atzmai, that a Vayakel onto itself has a shleimus. Shemegalem es achtus haklolos. In other words, it shouldn't be seen as stage number 1 and that there's still unfinished business. The fact that we can get everybody together, unified, even if we're not highlighting the specific qualities, individual talents of every single, but the fact that everybody at least shows up, that itself has accomplished and stands by its own right in terms of the unity of the Eibishter being revealed, and that could be seen as an accomplishment of an end to itself. We reveal the general achdus babriya in the creation, ubebnei Yisroel and in the Jewish people. We don't have to wait and say, it's not finished, until we can assign an individual meaning and significance to every single individual. So, in other words, Mashiach can come already as soon as we have the Vayakel. We can already have Mashiach here. Perhaps we can say, this is Das Tacht, as I said, this Sikha leaves a lot for interpretation because the Rebbe wasn't megi it, and so you have a very just, it's like we say a rough draft. Perhaps we can say, by what the Rebbe is saying this, he wanted to avoid the post-Kimmel Damas situation. Because one of the differences, again, this is on my own, but one of the differences that there is when we have a Rebbe here, B'oifen Gashmi, that we can see him, and whether in post-Gimel Tammuz, is that before Gimel Tammuz, when we can see and hear our Rebbe, there's a certain unifying individual that has the power to all inspire us and get us all together. Every time the Rebbe said a sikh, everybody went running, right? In Crown Heights, of course, everybody did, went running. In the whole world, you had a hookup, you had a thing, the Rebbe's talking. There's the unification, there's the inspiration coming from above. It electrifies, it picks us up, and it grabs us all. Simchas Torah, Farbrengen, Tishrei, these are all powerful. This is the idea of Momaila Lamata. Whenever there is a powerful inspiration coming from above, it is in a way of, it's not so individualized. Of course, by a Rebbe, there's also details. The Rebbe gave people Yechidus Pratis, and helps, and through thousands and countless of correspondence of letters and individual direction and hiros, you have such specification and the ability, and that's the whole idea. One of the unique things of a true leader is they're able to go al pirucha shel kol echad v'yechad. Yeah, but we can say that the more greater power that there is in a nasi is the yichud and the unification and the isachtus klolis, that everybody's pulled up together by this powerful force of light, of inspiration, and of connection. After Gimel Tammuz, we don't have those moments of a farbrengen and so on. I get excited and turned on by this sikha and on this moment, and I'm shturming and I'm getting excited, and then I cool down and get caught up with other things, and suddenly someone else grabs the ball and they run with it. They get excited. You get excited about another teaching, and everybody in their own individual way, what speaks to you, which kind of sikha, which mimer speaks to you, what hayros speak to you. So everybody's more individualized in accordance to who they are and what they are. The avodah that comes b'koyach atzmoi, which of course we're not b'koyach atzmoi now, but relative to having the gashmiistic presence of the Rebbe is more pakudedig. And you can see from the Rebbe's, when the Rebbe but the Rebbe evoked us on Chav Ches Nisan, the Rebbe was upset that our crying of Admasai is really his cry, it's not our cry. In order for it to be ours, that's like the more individual element of it. And in a sense, we can say, looking back, not looking for excuses, but looking back, we can say that one of the reasons why we had to go through what we went through and let it not stay for another second is so that we can become more individualized, connected to Mashiach, and each one of us shine our own personal individual light. But here the Rebbe is saying that since Vayakal Pekudei is two separate parshias, halavai, we shouldn't need that individual avoid of Pekudei. We should be able to be yoitz already with the isachtus that was going on in Tafshin Nun Beis by that powerful, centralized general force of a Rebbe that's Vayakel Moshe, that he's maybe makel all of the Jewish people. That's just my own 2 cents in this Indian. Could be. Now let's continue. Now this can be also connected. So what's the theme of Vayakel? Is the unity of the Jewish people, the unity of the world. Now this can be connected to something specific, to another Inyan that happened that Shabbos, and that is that it was also Shabbos Parsha Shkolim, like it's going to be next week. Next week is going to be the first of the 4 Parshiyos, Parsha Shkolim. So this theme of unity of the Jewish people is also the theme of Parsha Shkolim. When it comes to the mitzvah of Shkolim, which is actually this week's Parsha as well, Parshas Kisisa, we have a double Kisisa. We have Kisisa this week, and we have Kisisa next week. Next week Kisisa is Parsha Shkolim. This week Kisisa is Parshas Kisisa. It begins with the mitzvah of giving a machzas hashekel. When the Torah tells us to give a machzas hashekel, the Torah tells us to give a 10 gera. 10 gera is that the full shekel is 20 gera, but you only have to give 10 gera. It's like saying a dime, which is 10 cents. Okay, it's one coin, but it has within it the value of 10 gera. Gera was a certain weight. So the question over here is, if a coin of a machzas hashekel is a 10 gera coin, Why are you saying that the full gera is 20, but we're giving machzis? What do you have to say then? Just say, this is what you should give, a 10 gera coin. Because they had that coin, obviously, because they were commanded to give that coin. Give 10 gera. Why does the pasuk emphasize that we should give 20 gera, half of 20? The explanation is, Machzis HaShekel moira al avodah de'achdos Yisroel. Machzis HaShekel too is indicating the avodah of the unity of the Jewish people. L'chein madgishim, that's why we emphasize. Shekashe Yehudi nimtza b'fnei atzmai, that when a Jew is alone, harei rak machzis. If you don't join another person, if you want to do it, I'll do it alone. I'm minding my own business. I'm doing my own thing. I'm being very religious. I'm being very connected. I'm concerned about myself and about my avodas Hashem or whatever it is. Then whatever it is, you'll always be a half. You're not a whole. In order to be a holy shekel, you got to connect with another Jew. All of the sachadim Yehudi Sheni, connect to another Yid. Okay, is it enough to connect to one Jew? So the Rebbe says, Va'ad, no. You have to bond with every Jew. That means you have to be there for every Yid. Any Jew that should need a favor, any Jew that needs help, you have to be there. Obviously, we can't stretch ourselves. But in concept, in theory, a Yid is connecting himself, knows that he's not complete without another Jew. He has to connect with every Jew. Chassidus tells us that the famous Shapirish Reyacha, what does it mean? Reyacha, it's one of the Hayoim Yoims, who loy rak Yehudi shenim tzekar ve'elav, not only a Jew who's you're familiar with and you know, and therefore you're friends with this person, even a Jew that you don't know, another Jew in the other, you have to be open and recognize that you need that Jew in order to be whole. And the reason for this is, the Alter Rebbe says in Tanya, every single Jew is a piece of the Eibishter. And by the Eibishter, you can't say bigger pieces, smaller pieces, a little piece. A little piece of the essence is the entire thing. So if you're not connecting, if there's one Jew that you're excluding, and you're saying this person not, then you're denying the whole Jewish experience, the whole Jewish identity. So therefore, you grab the whole one. We're all one. And even if, Chas v'shalom, the Rebbe says, that there's a Jew that you feel that you need some improvement, and you feel that you need to improve this behavior in this particular Yid, then make sure, the Rebbe says that the way to accomplish it is only through positivity. Pleasantness and peace. In other words, you're accomplishing this improvement by drawing them closer, not by pushing them away. That's it, because you have to connect. Machzis HaShekel, you're only a half. Same theme of Vayakel. Alle Yidden zusammen. All Yidden have to unify and be one. That's the message of Vayakel. If I can say, practically, post Gimel Tammuz, the differences become stronger. Gimel Tammuz itself, because we don't have a final word, a one singular, you say, you ask the Rebbe, and what the Rebbe says, that resolves it. Even with the days when we didn't hear from the Rebbe constantly, there were still Ein Dayaseyim Shabbos, we had different minds. But after Gimel Tammuz, of course, because it's left to our interpretations of how we interpret what was the main thing, and so on and so forth. Ad kedei kach, that there could be big differences amongst Chassidim of what's the right way of being a Lubavitcher Chassid today. What's the right method? How do you connect to the Rebbe? Over here, and we know. But we Chas v'shalom have to always remember, we can't become splintered. Even if we feel that someone is wrong, and very wrong, and total opposite of what the Rebbe was all about, and people have very strong feelings, the way to change it is only through a kindness and closeness, and a loving way, not through putting people down and not through criticism. Criticism doesn't work. It's through a closeness. And that's a lesson that is very real. And if we were not so good in this till today, we should improve in this, all of us should see. We definitely have different opinions. And yet, recognize we can sit and talk to each other and be friends and be connected and be deeply connected. Another very important thing, the Rebbe is talking about a Vayakel. So Bashgacha Pratis, the Eibishter, is doing something amazing, something unbelievable. Parshas Vayakel, next week. Again in Parshas Vayakel, on Tuesday, Parshas Vayakel. Women in the world have decided to get together and make a tremendous display of achdus regarding the coming of Mashiach. Mamish, a Lubavitcher Inyan. Our Inyan is Achdus Yisroel, and our Inyan is Geula, is Mashiach. The inspirers of this event are, and that is not necessarily coming from Chabad, coming from outside, non-Lubavitch, and they want Chabad to join. So if this can be a moment for all shluchas, for everybody that's listening, we need to participate. We need to participate big time. We need to join. We should go. We should encourage our people to come. If we haven't had a kinus in our own place, let's join in this global kinus. And even though sometimes we feel that we need to be the leaders in it, we should know we are. The Chabad has been the leaders in the sense that we've brought this Mashiach Geula consciousness. How much did the Rebbe talk about the women and tambourines? And they're doing it exactly like Mamash, unbelievable. Mamash like the Rebbe spoke, that women will dance and will with powerful amunah. So here it's so and so important that every chassid, every person that has any shaykhs to the Rebbe, which will actually physically make the effort to go and participate and to call and see if there's anything they can do to help and encourage. There's a week still to do this. Over here, I know in California, it's over here taking place in the valley. Maybe we can make another one, but it has to happen. We must all unify and get together. This mamish, something that we shouldn't let chas v'sholem any kind of a sense of, well, because I mentioned it, and some people say, well, you know, people are doing, and we're the ones who start. Very nice. So it says in the pasuk, Ani Rishon v'ani Achara, and you started. You have to be the completion as well. Join along the Jewish people. This is mamish this achdos that the Rebbe is talking about. Vayakel, alle Yidden zusammen. You want to do one more specific type of unity that highlights more Chabad ideas regarding the Geula. Do another one. Try to see if you can, in a B'darkei Noyam way, influence that gathering to incorporate that as well. That's great. If not. Do it, of course, smartly. But this is something that is an absolute must. That all women, there's an opportunity of this Vayakel, that mamish, the last words so far that we heard from our Rebbe about the unity of the Jewish people. And this is the unity of the Jewish people in a tremendous way. It's a huge encouragement. Okay. Now I'm going to read the rest outside because I don't want to take so much time. The Rebbe says the introduction for this Vayakel, for this unity in the world and amongst the Jewish people, comes from the unity of the Jew with the Eibishter. Why? Because what unifies us with all Yidden? It's the fact that we're chelik l'kaim al mamish. So the stronger a Jew connects himself to the Eibishter, like the Alter Rebbe says in Tanya, that when a Yid is nafsham ikar, if we make our soul, our spiritual connection to the Eibishter, our primary concern in our life, then we have a much easier time with Avas Yisrael and Achdus Yisrael, because on that level we're all one. If we make our selfish bodies, our selfish interests, the primary drive in our life, then I am me and you are you, and we have to find some common thing that I can get out of you that I'm unifying with you, but I can't love you without any reason at all. So the Rebbe says, so therefore, the stronger we bond with the Eibishter, the stronger our bond with others can be. So therefore, to start and to intensify our union with other Yidden, with all Yidden, we take the lesson from Machzas HaShekel as a bonding with the Eibishter. But what does that mean? So he says like this, just like we said before, a Yid has to connect to another Jew because I'm a half a shekel and the other Jew is a half a shekel. I also see the shekel hashalim, the complete shekel, is the Eibishter is half and we're the other half. And that's the meaning that there is 10 geira hashekel. That a half a shekel is 10 geira, but together they're 20 geira. How does that work? So the Rebbe says like this. The 10 geira is because Hashem manifests himself with 10 spheres. That's how he reveals himself. That's Hashem's personality. We also have 10 kochas hanefesh. So our 10 kochas are our chatzi shekel, and the Eibishter's 10 spheres are the Eibishter's chatzi shekel. And kiviyachol, we're incomplete without him, and the Eibishter is incomplete without us. Together, when a Yid knows that he is unifying and joining himself with the Eibishter, obviously that comes that when I take my head and I connect it to the Eibishter's head through Limud Torah, the Eibishter does mitzvahs, so we also do mitzvahs, and so we connect all of our limbs. And so a Yid bonds and connects through davening and the like. So we forge a bond with the Eibishter, and we forge and we become a shekel hashalom, then we can intensify our bond with each other. And this sounds like, wow, how do you reveal by a Jew that a Yid is one with the Eibishter? It sounds like an unbelievable accomplishment. It sounds like something so high. I mean, to mamish truly bond. And this is what's so beautiful in this Vayakel Sicha. That Rebbe breaks it down for us in the most simplest of levels. Doesn't take much. As a matter of fact, the first thing you do when you wake up in the morning, you wash Negelvas, even before Negelvas, you open up your eyes, the first thing you do, Moida ani lefanecha, those three words that came out of your mouth, at this moment, it's already, you revealed how you and the Eibishter are totally one. Ani lefanecha, I before you. It's I and you, the king and I, me and the Eibishter are one. A yichud of a yid and the Eibishter, as soon as you say Ani lefanecha. That's an unbelievable chiddush. The Rebbe says, a Jew, the second he wakes up in the morning, he's already in that level of Ani lefanecha, I am with you. In the Sachtas. Later you're going to start worrying about details, how you're going to unify the specifics of your life with the Eibishter. But first, it's Ani lefanecha, I and the Eibishter, totally one. And the Rebbe says the reason why we don't start with Ani lefanecha, should have said Ani lefanecha moida, is because the Ani lefanecha, the Rebbe says, is so simple, it's not a chiddush. That a Yid is one, a Yid is ain't smitten Eibishter, a Yid is one with the Ein, not a chiddush. Moida, that you acknowledge that, and you devote yourself, say, I acknowledge that I am one with you, Hashem. That's already a Jew's avodah, your acknowledgement of it. So we start with our avodah. But in truth, there's the Ani lefanecha. Unbelievable. Now, by the way, this is Kol Inyanai of Moshiach. Kol Inyanai of Moshiach is to reveal the achdus of the Jewish people, the achdus of the world, the achdus of the Jewish people with each other. But ultimately to reveal the unity of Yidden and the Eibishter, to the point that they are chad mamish. Here's the words of the Rebbe, that the Yid and the Eibishter are in a state of, to the point that Hashem is mamish half without you. But here, so you think, okay, if I'm very, very pure, if I'm very, very holy, and if I did my whole avodah yesterday and my mamish was perfect, so when I go to sleep at night and I wake up in the morning and I say, Moida ani lefanecha, me and the Eibishter, the Yid and the Eibishter are totally one. But how about if I'm totally tzimished, I'm totally scattered, I'm totally, I've been completely unfocused on my spiritual life and my connection. I'm caught up with my phone and my Facebook and my all kinds of other mishagas. And I don't feel this Ani lefanecha, this holiness. So the Rebbe says, what does it say in the Siddur? Miyad keshenir mishnasai, the Alter Rebbe says. The Lashon of the Siddur. As soon as a person, yir mishnasai, he wakes up from his sleep, in addition to meaning the ordinary sleep that you're sleeping, which is also a chiddush, that all you need is to wake up, and the alertness that you can immediately be one totally with Hashem at that very second. But there's another thing that Rebbe says. When a person falls asleep spiritually and gets caught up in the what's called havle hazman, in the narishkeit of time, we get caught up in the elements that's called falling asleep. You get you're not focused, you're not conscious of your Jewishness. You're asleep, spiritually asleep. And here's the beauty of it: that the moment you have an awakening and say, you know what, that's not what life is about. I'm a Jew. At that very moment, it's already Ani lefanecha. The Yid and the Eibishter are one. No one ever said this to the Jewish people. It doesn't say that in Sfarim. It doesn't say that anywhere. It's only and this is by the way the theme of the last sichas of the Rebbe, to be Megala B'Yid now. They're one mamash with Elikus. And if we can only internalize this, know that a Yid, it doesn't make a difference everything with all one's garbage, with all one's darkness, with all one's silliness. To know that the moment I become aware, and the moment I want to focus in, and the moment I'm at that moment, it's already Ani lefanecha. The Rebbe says these words, Tchilas ha'avodah, the beginning of a Yid service is sheyeda, that he should know, shehu chad mamish im atzmos u'mohus. Not you're one with some divinity, you're one mamish with the essence of essence. Sharei chelik l'kayim imal mamish. Instantly. So as a result of our appreciation and recognition of this intrinsic truth, that is just there, that we're one with the Eibishter. From that headspace, we appreciate another Jew and every Jew and unify with them. Just to conclude, the Rebbe says that as much as this is applicable all times, this Vayakel is so much more applicable right now, because the Rebbe says, you see lately that there began kibbutz galuyos, that Jews are gathering to Eretz Yisrael like never else in history. There was never a time of Jews going up to Eretz Yisrael in such numbers. It's interesting what I'm just going to point out, that in Tavshin Nun Aleph, I think even, the Rebbe refrained from saying that the Aliyah to Eretz Yisrael from the Russian Jews is that it's kibbutz galuyos. The Rebbe always refrained from saying that it's kibbutz galuyos. The Rebbe was always saying that it's, if anything, it's a hachana for kibbutz galuyos, but it's not kibbutz galuyos. But in Nun Beis, the Rebbe started already using the phrase that it's actually kibbutz galuyos as part of the Pa'ula of Mashiach in the world of kibbutz galuyos. And over here, the Rebbe says it very strongly in this Sikha, that this is already the beginning of kibbutz galuyos. And he adds, he says, the chiddush of kibbutz galuyos is that the Rabbeim never went to Eretz Yisrael. Uleheir, he says, that the Rabbeim never went to Eretz Yisrael. And even though the Friediger Rebbe went, he says it was not really going there, because he didn't go because he went to Eretz Yisrael. He went there because he wanted to go daven by Kvarim, Kivrei Avos. And since it wasn't going for the sake of Eretz Yisrael, it's not considered as if he was in Eretz Yisrael. I mean, it's meaning to the fullest extent. So the Rebbeim were never there. So it was hard for me to understand what does the Rebbe want to emphasize. So the Rebbeim weren't there. The thing is the Chiddush. And now, kibbutz galuyos is happening. Yidden are going in. What's the Hira from all of this? It's the Achdus, it's the unity, and the conclusion in the actual Sikha that he brings over here is that in addition to all of this, Machtas HaShekel means that we give tzedakah. It means the Avos Yisrael translates in actually helping other people and giving tzedakah. And the Rebbe encouraged that even on Shabbos, when people can't give money, can't write a check, can't swipe a credit card, can't do PayPal, can't do all the ways of actually physically giving tzedakah, you can immediately already serve a meal to someone. You can give food, you can help people, and you're giving tzedakah immediately. And another lesson that Rebbe says in the giving of tzedakah is that the giving of the tzedakah by Machtas HaShekel was that they gave the money for karbanis tzibur, for a karban. And by karbanis, there's an emphasis that it should be mikem karban Hashem, that you're giving the karban with your entire being, mikem, from you, which means that you're not just giving money for tzedakah, but you're investing yourself in that giving. You do it with thought, speech, and action. You're fully imbued in that avodah. You invest your eser koiches hanefesh, and that's the ultimate tzedakah. May the Eibishter help these lessons that should be part of us every day: the achdus, the unity, the caring for each other. If we need to improve everybody, it should always only be b'shalom dig away, never putting anybody down, not even thinking negative and disparagingly about others. And on the other hand, to appreciate how unified each and every one of us is with the Eibishter. The Yid is one with Atzmos Mahus Mamish, and in that sense, appreciate ourselves for who we really are will help us truly appreciate every other Jew, and Mamish, every Jew in the whole world. And that's how we fulfill the Vayakel. May we already see the ultimate and complete Vayakel. Taketh miyad, Mamish, Mamish, and Mamish.